Okay, all of listen to me. Just please maintain silence. Okay, in this class, we are going to see the concept of critical pressure and temperature of a pure substance. Concept of a critical temperature and pressure of a pure substance. So, in this class, we are going to see what is the definition of critical pressure and temperature, and what are the values, and where you are using this particular concept. In this class, we are going to see. So, you just see this slide here. See, in this slide, we are getting what is called a critical pressure and a critical temperature. So you can see what is a critical pressure. Critical pressure, at what pressure the liquid converts into vapor with sensible heat only. That pressure is known as critical pressure, and the value of that particular critical pressure is the 221.1 bar. And the critical temperature. Temperature at critical pressure is called critical temperature. The temperature of critical pressure is called as a critical temperature, and its value is 374 degrees centigrade. So these are the values of critical pressure and temperature. So by this simple way, you don't get understand. I will explain what is called critical pressure and temperature. But before going to start the class of this critical pressure and temperature, first we should know some things here. You should require some data of the previous class. In the previous class, what we have seen the types of heats. What are the types of heats we have here? We have sensible heat, we have latent heat, and we have superheat. And we know that we are indicating the sensible heat with the HF, and latent heat with the HFG, and superheat with the H superheat, H suffix of super. So here, if you want to convert the water into vapor, or if you want to convert any liquid into vapor, we require two types of heats. One is called sensible heat, one is called latent heat. The sensible heat we are using for what? The sensible heat we are using to increase the temperature of a substance at a given pressure to reach its saturation temperature. What for we are using the sensible heat? In the previous class, we have done one experiment. In that experiment, we took the pressure as 1 bar. We took the pressure as 1 bar, and we at the pressure of 1 bar, we used the substance as water. What is the substance we used in the previous experiment? That is water. The pressure of the experiment is 1 bar. So in that 1 bar, the water saturation point is 100 degrees. So that we supplied the sensible heat from 0 degrees of water to increase its temperature up to saturation temperature, nothing but 100 degrees. So that kind of heat is called sensible heat. And after reaching the saturated temperature, we supplied the latent heat in order to convert the saturated water into saturated state. So in this process, from the 0 degrees of water to convert water from 0 degrees to saturated steam, what are the kinds of heat we require? We require two kinds of heat. One is the sensible heat, one is the latent heat. Sensibility is meant to increase the water temperature at a given pressure, increase the water temperature to saturated temperature at a given pressure. That is a job of a sensible heat.
Sir, voice stuck అవుతుంది sir.
Voice stuck అవుతుందా? Hello, ఇప్పుడు నోడుందా? Hello.
Sir.
Okay, listen to me. See, what I'm saying here, in the previous experiment, we have seen that we are using the two kinds of heats. One is sensible heat. Sensible heat is meant to increase the temperature of the substance up to saturation temperature at a given pressure. So that is called sensible heat. And the next is latent heat. Latent heat is used to convert the phase of the substance from saturated liquid to saturated vapor. So in this way, we use two kinds of heats there. So in order to understand what is called critical pressure and temperature, you should know what are the types of heats required to convert the phase of the water here. Why? Because especially we are working on the water in this particular subject, so that I'm very much important to repeat the water only here. So now you can see in this diagram, in this slide, we are getting one diagram here. In this diagram, we have the two coordinates. One coordinate, y coordinate, is plotted with the pressure P, and x coordinate is plotted with the volume V here. So what it is giving here, what is the representation it is giving here? So see here, when volume is increasing, so when volume is going to increasing, so we are seeing some changes here from line to line. There are about 1 2 3 4 5 lines here. So what we are observing here, if you see the first line, for the first line length between the curve, now we are having one blue color thick curve here. చూస్తున్నారా? Are you getting this line? Blue color thick curve.
Yes, sir.
We are having one blue color thick curve. So in between that, we are having some lines here. Uh, we are having some lines here. 1 2 3 4 lines here. Now, if you see the lines here, what is the difference we are getting here? If you see these lines, at a T1 temperature, the line between the curve is, it's a long length. The length is high. It is a larger length. When you go to the T2, the length is decreased. And again, when you go to the T3, the length is somewhat decreased. And if go to the T4, again the length is decreased. At TCR, there is no length of this line in between the curve. I have seen here in this diagram, we are getting one blue color thick line. Blue color thick line. In that curve, we are seeing some dotted lines. If you observe at T1 level, this dotted line length is high. At T2, it is less than T1. At T3, it is less than T2. At T4, it is less than T3. At TCR, it is 0. The length of the dotted line is 0. So here what we are getting here, so from T1 to T2, what is happening here? If you observe here, at from T1 to T2, on the y-axis, pressure is increasing. See, this is a low level of pressure. This is a high level of pressure. Again, it is high than this one. Again, this is high than this one. Again, this is high than this one. So, while it is going upside, when T1 is going to T2, pressure is increasing. T2 is going to T3, pressure is increasing. And T3 is going to T4, pressure is increasing. So, what is happening here? When pressure is increasing, this length of the line is decreasing. The line between the curve is decreasing. Okay, na? This is a representation it is giving in this diagram. So I will explain clearly step by step the same concept on the other slide here. So first in this slide, yes, we have to get that what is called critical pressure and what is called critical temperature. Okay, critical pressure is nothing but at what pressure liquid converts into vapor with sensible heat only. Actually, we need to supply two kinds of heat to convert the water into steam, that is sensible heat and latent heat. But at some pressure, liquid converts into vapor with sensible heat only. That kind of pressure is called critical pressure. At that pressure, what is the temperature it is having, that is called as a critical temperature. The values of the critical pressure is 221.1 bar, and the value of the temperature is 374 degrees centigrade. So these are the definitions of critical pressure and the temperature. But by this definition, we don't get the total thing. I will explain here what is a critical pressure and the temperature. See here, I will explain here. So listen guys, we are going to see what is called as a critical pressure and the temperature. So listen to me. So likewise in the diagram, you just take the one y-axis here, same like in the diagram. You take one y-axis here, and to take some x-axis here. On the y-axis we are having the pressure, and the x-axis we are having the volume here. And now you see, for example, You take the P1 pressure line here. You take P1 pressure line. This is the on the y-axis what we are having. On the y-axis we are having the pressure. So that you take some P1 pressure line here. Some P1 pressure line here, and after that you do one thing. You just consider this origin. Origin అంటే తెలుసు కదా? That is a meeting point of two coordinates. Origin means meeting point of two coordinates, and you take this origin as a 0 degrees centigrade of water. Okay, now you take this origin as a 0 degree centigrade of water, and from this 0 degree centigrade, if you keep heating the water, the water increases its temperature, and at a given pressure it will meet the saturation point. So this is the saturation point. This one is what? TS1, saturation point at pressure 1. Saturation point at pressure 1. And after getting the saturation point, the temperature will be constant, and the further heat supply, this will convert as a vapor. At this point it will convert as a vapor. So for example, if you take this 0 degrees point as a point A, this point B will be what? Point B will be saturation point of the water, and from B to C, this point C is a saturated vapor. Point C is a saturated vapor, and this point D will be a superheating after this one. So now this will be A, and this will be B1. B1 means saturation point at pressure 1, and C1 means saturated steam at pressure 1, and this D1 will be superheated point at pressure 1. So now after this, you take pressure 2 here. After this one, you take the pressure 2 line here. You take this some highest pressure than the previous one. You take first pressure 1 line. At pressure 1 line, these are the points. B1 is a saturation temperature, C1 is a saturated steam point, and D1 is a superheating point. Okay, na? And after this, what happens? What we have to do when you giving the heat, this temperature of the water should reach the saturation point at given pressure. In the before, P1 is the given pressure, but right now it is not here. Right now it is here. This is TS2. This is the saturation temperature at P2 pressure. So this is the saturation temperature at P2 pressure, and after reaching the P2 pressure, after reaching the saturation point, again the temperature will be constant. And it will reach the saturated steam point. This is nothing but C2. This is nothing but D2, and this is nothing but B2. What is the point B? Point B is the saturation temperature point. Point C is the saturated steam point. D is a superheating point. So what is happening at pressure P1? Saturation temperature point is B1. And now when you change the pressure P1 to P2, the TS1 change it to TS2, and C1 change it to C2. C1 change it to C2, and D1 change it to D2. And again you do one thing. Again you change the pressure from P2 to P3 here. So just again you change the pressure from P2 to P3. So now this is a not saturation point of P3. Why? Because it has to meet the pressure line. It has to meet a pressure line here. Where is the 3 pressure line here? 3 pressure line is here. Here it has to meet. Now this will be what? TS3. Saturation temperature at pressure 3. This will be D3. And after reaching this point, this will convert into steam at C3, and this will be D3, and this will be D3 here, and this will be D3 here. Okay, now this happens, and after at some point and at some point you take the another pressure, you take the another pressure, you take the another pressure. At this pressure, this is the saturation point, this is the Ts up point, and the curve will be like this. I would like to explain here. See, what are the things happening here? Now, if you see, what is the point A? Point A is 0 degrees of water, and point B is the saturation temperature. So, in between, what is the heat added between A and B will be? What is the heat added between A and B will be sensible heat. That is what? Sensible heat. SH. Sensible heat. SH. And it is indicated with what? HF. And in between B and C, what is the heat added will be latent heat LHF, and it is indicated with the HFG, and it is indicated with the HFG. Now you can observe here what is happening to the length of SH and length of LH. At P1, length of SH is smaller and length of LH is higher. Length of LH is higher. And if you go to the P2 level, the length of SH is higher and the length of LH is decreased. Length of LH is decreased. Length of LH is decreased. And at P3 level, again length of SH is increased, length of LH is again decreased. Likewise, when you increase the pressure and pressure goes on, what happens? SH will increase. At some point, LH will become 0. At some point, LH will become 0. This point is known as critical point. This point is known as what? Critical point. Are you getting that? See, in this diagram, this is the critical point. In this diagram, this is a critical point. Hello?
Sir.
Are you getting
Sir.
that? Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Point A is what? Point A is 0 degrees of water, and point B is saturation temperature at a given pressure. If you observe at P1, the length between the A and B1 is less, and the length between the B1 and C1 is high. And when you go to the pressure 2, the length between the A and B2 will be higher. It is increased than pressure P1, and the length between the B2 and C2 is decreased. That means what? By this, what we can say? If pressure increases, here we can write like what? If pressure increases, sensible heat increases, and if pressure increases, latent heat decreases. Okay, now what is happening here? See, listen here. See, the actual A is 0 degrees of water. From there, what you have to do? You have to heat the water until it reaches the saturation point. And after reaching the saturation point, if you supply the latent heat, that water will become as a steam. If you observe, for example, you say, if you take the pressure P1, from the 0 degrees of water, you started heating it, and it is reaching the P1 pressure at this point. And this is called as a saturation point of a water. And from there, we are supplying the latent heat in this manner. Now this line is indicating up to C is supply of a latent heat. And if you go to the pressure P2, the saturation point will be TS2, and the saturated steam point will be C2. Now, what is the difference we are getting from P1 to P2? At P1, sensibility is less. At P1, the length of the sensible heat is less. At P2, this is the length of sensible heat. See, this is the length of sensible heat. at P2. This is a P1 sensible heat. This is a P2 sensible heat. This is a P2 sensible heat. It is higher. Now this is the length of P2's latent heat. P2. The green color one is a length of sensible heat at P1, and this green color line is a length of latent heat at P1. Now this dark maroon color lines are what? This is the length of sensible heat at P2. This is the length of latent heat at P2. Now if you can observe here, when pressure increases, sensible heat is increased and latent heat is decreased. Sensible heat is increased and latent heat is decreased. And similar way, if you go for the P3, and I'll take one more color here. See, go for P3. See, this is the P3 level. See, this line is P3 levels line, and now this line is P3 levels latent heat. If you observe the lengths here, see this length. If you observe here, this is very small. This length is very high. The sensible heat length is very high, and this latent heat length is very small. And again, if you go to the another level P, here the length of this is the length of sensible heat. This is the length of sensible heat. There is no length of latent heat. Thus LH will become 0 here. Here there is no length of latent heat. At pressure P, or it is called as critical pressure. It is called as what? This line is critical pressure line. This line is critical pressure line. At this critical pressure line, sensible heat is having very high value. Latent heat is 0. Latent heat is 0. So this point is called as a critical point. This point is called as a critical point. At this point, the value of pressure is 221.1 bar. 221.1 bar. And value of temperature is 374 degree centigrade. So this is known as a critical pressure and temperature. The concept of critical pressure is giving the knowledge is that if pressure increases, sensible heat increases, and saturation temperature also increases, and saturation temperature also increases. You can see here, if pressure increases, sensible heat increases, and saturation temperature also, TS also increases, and latent heat decreases. So this is the concept of critical pressure and temperature. Now what are the values of critical pressure? That is 221.1 bar is a critical pressure, and 374 degrees is the critical temperature. So now, can you give any example for this concept of critical pressure? What is the concept of critical pressure? What is a conflict it is giving that if pressure increases, saturation temperature of water or boiling point of the water will increase. The same principle is used in your pressure cooker. What we are using in the kitchen, what we are doing in the pressure cooker, by locking the pressure inside the cooker, we are increasing the saturation point of water. So while you cooking the mutton and beef and dal, like this kind of items, if you're going to cook the beef, or if you're going to cook the mutton, if you're going to cook the pulses, so what you are doing, you are using the pressure cookers. What is the reason to use the pressure cookers? In the pressure cookers, what you are doing, by keeping the tight seal cap, we are increasing the pressure inside the cooker. So when the pressure increases, water will not evaporate at 100 degrees. For example, in a normal cooking vessels, the open cooking vessels, the water boiling temperature is 100 degrees centigrade. After the 100 degrees centigrade, the water will not increase its temperature. So what happens? It will evaporate. So that at 100 degrees, meat will not cook. So that what you are doing, we are using the pressure cookers. In the pressure cookers, what we are doing, we are increasing the pressure. When you are increasing the pressure, the inside water saturation temperature will be more than 100 degrees, it will be like 150 degrees centigrade. The point will goes to where? 150 degrees centigrade. So by that what happens? We are increasing the temperature of the water. At that temperature, mutton or beef or pulses will cook easily. This is the principle we are using in the pressure cookers. So what is the concept? It is giving what is the knowledge we got by this concept? If you want to increase its any substances saturation temperature, for that what you have to do? You have to increase the pressure of that substance. You have to increase the pressure of the substance, and that is the same thing. That is the same thing we are using in the previous semester. You have seen that thermal engineering one. There you have discussed about the cooling system of IC engines. Have you seen? Hello. In the last semester subject, you have seen the IC engines cooling system. Types of cooling system, water cooling systems, water cooling system, oil cooling system, radiator. Types of cooling systems you have seen in the last semester. So there also we are using the same concept. We are using pressurized radiators. What is called pressurized radiator? For the pressurized radiator, we keep the radiator cap with some spring, which is enable the tight sealing. For the cap. So when you're keeping the radiator cap with the tight seal, the water pressure inside the radiator will increase. When water pressure inside the radiator increases, the boiling point of the water also increases, so that there is less chance of evaporation of water in the radiators. What for it is, when you running the vehicles in a highly summer seasons, because of the temperature outside the ambient, and what is the heat coming from the engine, the water inside the temperature will evaporate. The water inside the radiator will evaporate, and sometimes the radiator tank will be empty. So that what happens? We are running the lack of water inside the engine. So where there is no water in the radiator, engine will not run, because we have to continuously cool the engine while it is running. So if there is no water, there is no cooling. Where there is no cooling, there is no running of engine. So in order to avoid this kind of particular things, we are increasing the pressure of the water by keeping the tight seal for the radiator. So when the pressure of the water increases, the boiling point of the water also increases, so that we can avoid the evaporation of water. మన సినిమాలో చూస్తాం కదా, కార్ ఆగిపోగానే హీరో వెళ్ళి ఒక క్యాన్ లో వాటర్ తీసుకొచ్చి రేడియేటర్ లో పోస్తాడు. హీట్కి ఏమైపోతుంది, రేడియేటర్ లో వాటర్ అంతా ఎవాపరేట్ అయిపోగానే మనం ఏం చేస్తాం, మామూలుగా క్యాన్ లో వాటర్ తీసుకొచ్చి మళ్ళీ రేడియేటర్ లో పోస్తాం. అలా ఎందుకు ఎవాపరేట్ అయిపోతాయి? నార్మల్ ప్రెషర్ దగ్గర వాటర్ బాయిలింగ్ టెంపరేచర్ 100 degrees కాబట్టి సమ్మర్ టైంలో ఏమైపోతుంది, తొందరగా 100 degrees వచ్చేస్తుంది కాబట్టి అవి ఎవాపరేట్ అయిపోతాయి. అట్లా ఎవాపరేట్ కాకుండా ఉండడానికి ఏం చేస్తామంటే టైట్ క్యాప్ పెడతాం. టైట్ క్యాప్ పెట్టినప్పుడు radiator pressure inside the radiator pressure will increase. When you keep in the tight cap, the pressure inside the radiator will increases. When pressure increases, the boiling point also increases. So this is called concept of critical pressure and temperature. So this concept is saying that at some temperature with sensible heat only, water will convert into vapor. That pressure is called critical pressure. At that pressure, what is the temperature it is having is called critical temperature. The values of the critical pressure and temperature are critical pressure PC is equal to 221.1 bar, and the critical temperature TC is equal to 374 degree centigrade. So for example, if you want to convert water into steam with only sensible heat, then what is the pressure you have to maintain? If you want to convert water into steam with sensible heat only, what is the pressure you have to maintain?
221.1 bar.
That's all, simple. మీరు వాటర్ కి 221.1 బార్ ప్రెషర్ ని మెయింటైన్ చేస్తే సింపుల్ గా సెన్సిబుల్ హీట్ ఇచ్చే వాటర్ ని మనం ఏం చేయొచ్చు, స్టీమ్ చేయొచ్చు. At critical pressure, there is no need of latent heat. Why? Because at critical pressure, with sensible heat only, water will convert into vapor or steam. So this is the concept of critical pressure and temperature. And also I need to give this class link also to you. Okay, I will submit this link also to you. You write the things from this slides. Okay, I'm going to stop this class. Thank you, thank you for listening. And as usual, you post your attendance in the chat box. Okay, na? Hello.
Okay, sir.
Huh? మీ నెంబర్స్
okay,
అన్ని
sir.
చాట్ బాక్స్
Okay.
లో పంపండి. అండ్ ఆన్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్, మీరు ఎవరు సిఆర్ కి ఎవరికి ఇస్తున్నారు కదా అటెండెన్స్, అవి ఇచ్చేసేయండి.
Sir.